Kind of the question, is there equality of male and female monks? What role does each gender in Buddhism have from the cultural point of view, from a societal point of view, from the habituated thinking point of view? They're not equal. Monks always appear to be at a higher level than the nuns. Say, for example, if a nun has committed some mistakes, some errors, then the monks can criticize her and say, this is not you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, that's wrong. If she really commits the errors or has broken the precepts. But on the other hand, the nuns cannot criticize the monks for the same reason. So I don't know if you call that equality and fairness. The Buddha himself said that allowing the women to be nuns has made Buddhism diminish faster for 500 years. I don't know why. Maybe there's certain reasons for it. And also there's a sutra indicating that women has 84 more serious and intensive mental afflictions than men. And you can research into that sutra, especially in jealousy. In other words, the female has higher propensity to get jealous than the male. I'm almost sure that the male would agree. Then I don't know if the female would agree to it. So we don't know. So you take a look at that sutra, 大哀道经. So it's not equal culturally. You know, when a religion has permeated into a different culture, it changes according to the traditions of that culture, which is natural. Because it gets into a different land with a different culture. So somehow the ceremonials part have changed. But the truth hasn't changed. In other words, what the Buddha said hasn't changed. Unless somebody changed it later deliberately by bad intention. It happened. So some sutras are not real spoken words of the Buddha. Not many, but a few of them. So that's how I answer this question. What are Buddhist views on suicide, assisted suicide, and euthanasia? Oh, yes. Yeah. According to Buddhist teaching, no one should commit suicide. Because if your karma has not finished, if the general ledger still have a credit balance in there, it does not matter where you go, you still have to pay off that credit balance. Your loan. You have a loan, you carry a loan, I'm just giving you an example. If you carry a credit balance in your general ledger, on your karma payable, there's accounts payable and a karma payable. And the karma payable is that you have to pay that much. So I'm not going to pay it, I'm going to get away. I'm going to get into another country. But you still owe that amount though. It does not matter where you go. You still owe. You have an accounts payable set up that you own $1 million, for example. I don't want to pay that $1 million. I want to get away from Canada. I want to go to Hong Kong so I can avoid paying this $1 million. Legally, you may or may not. I still don't know. Probably you cannot. But in truth, you still owe that amount of money. So even if you commit suicide by taking your own life, you still have to pay it off in inferno. In other words, where you go, you still have to pay it off. So why? Why get away? you have to balance it. You need to balance it. And also, now you incur into an extra debt. It's just like when you're getting away, you incur into a criminal crime or a contractual obligation that you haven't fulfilled, that you may be sued for, and for extra irresponsibility. So in other words, you commit suicide, you haven't paid up your karmic debt, now you incur into more debt. What is this debt? The debt of killing. You're killing a being. You are a being. You kill yourself, that means you incur in more karmic responsibility. You kill someone, and that someone, quote unquote, is you. You kill yourself. So you haven't finished it, so you have to pay it off. So why do that? Assisted suicide, it works the same. Let that person die a natural death. Maybe that natural death is suffering, but you're still. That's what the medical community is doing now. The medical community cannot take away your life. I don't know. It may be in the future, if taking away life is free of suffering, the government may one day say, okay, that's possible. Then I don't know. I don't know how the karma, from the concept of karma, will work out. Yes, he changed his life. He dies earlier, then he rolled into another reincarnation. He may still have to suffer that. He may still have to go through the same suffering. So even the assisted suicide, we think that is not right according to the Buddhist teaching, because the balance is not balanced. The liability is still there. You can't get away from it. But then, when I think of it, why do you have to be so pessimistic? Your sickness could be healed. If you've gone through this hurdle, you may be better. Why do you have to take your life? You don't want to confront any more suffering. You don't want to face it. It's easy to say, I take my own life. It's easy to say, I give up. I give up. Why do you have to give up so easily? If everybody is thinking about, oh, if I can't go through it, I can just take my own life. If everybody thinks that way, then the pessimism will pervade the whole medical community. There's no more. You don't need any more intensive care. No more. You just kill yourself. If everybody starts, if all the patients, especially the hospital care patients, start to kill themselves, then wouldn't the medical staff be too busy looking after corpses? Every day, everybody kills themselves. Don't give up. Don't commit suicide, giving up. You've got to have that fighting spirit. You've got to continue. Life is very precious. It's extremely valuable. Maintain that life to continue on. I met a young girl, 21 years old, just about a month ago in Hong Kong. And she came up to me with her mom. She didn't say anything. The mom talked to me. I was sitting in there in a cafeteria like this in Hong Kong. I kept sitting in a cafeteria. I was reading. And then a lady came up to me. Oh, Reverend, my daughter would like to talk to you. So, oh, I said, oh, is that right? Your daughter wants to talk to me. So I didn't even look at her daughter. I said, oh, sit down. And later I find out that her daughter was blind, is blind. And blind since the age of 7 or 8. But she was the first girl, I think, admitted into a very famous girls' school. A blind girl admitted into a very high-level famous school in Hong Kong, Why? Because the mom promised the principal that every day the mom would show up and understand the assignments of the homework and bring that assignments and the homework to the Society for the Blind People to make that into a braille a book every day. Is it called a braille system? A braille book? So that there's corrugated, is it called protruded handwritten scripts for the daughter. So every day she's been doing that, bringing up the daughter. And the daughter later became a very successful student, graduated with flying color, and also became a famous writer, and became a famous singer, a good singer. And she happened to listen to a radio program that I produced, and the blind girl, and she liked it very much, and she wanted to talk to me. Because she was introduced into that radio program that I produced by her godmother. Her godmother suffered from depression, and every day she listened to the radio program, and she got relieved. She feels so happy after listening to it that her depression has decreased, is diminishing. And then the godmother said, "Oh, you should listen to this tape, or this is a CD." And she listened to it, and she liked it very much, and she wanted to talk to me. So she is very progressive, and she didn't want to give up. She's become so successful. So why do you want to give up on yourself, committing suicide? Fight on until the very end. If everybody is like you, giving up all the time, then life is no longer valuable anymore. Life is no longer worth living anymore. And also, how do you know that you will die? You may be on the verge of dying, but there's so many near-death experiences. People who experienced that, who came back and said, "Oh, I thought I would be dead, but then somehow I recovered." And why don't you do something about that instead of thinking about committing suicide? And one of the many methods that you can revive yourself is to seek help from the Bodhisattvas and the Buddha. Have you been doing that? Have you been chanting your mantra? Have you been chanting, if you're sick, have you been chanting the Buddha of Medicine mantra fervently? Oh, I came across another lady that really impressed me in Hong Kong. Last year, before I returned, not in this present trip last year, she had to go through an operation. And right at tomorrow, it's the day of her operation, and like for example, today she requests my help to chant a mantra for her. So I did that, and then I left. And in this trip, I found out that her operation was very successful, and she told me what happened to her for the past year. Before she performed the operation, she did 5,000 recitations of the Diamond Sutra. More than 5,000. 5,000. It takes about at least 35 minutes or 45 minutes for each reading, for each reading of the Diamond Sutra. And she completed 5,000. And she told me that at the operation table, she felt as if there's a monk standing by her bed saying that this lady has 5,000 recitations of the Diamond Sutra. He heard that. And the operation became so successful, and she didn't become sick anymore. Very serious near-death experience. The doctor said the chance of survival is very slim. But she recovered. Why don't you do the same thing? Request help from Bodhisattvas. She is ready for you. You must link up the communication. So why taking your life? Ask help from Bodhisattva. You may be okay. Don't give up. Meditation, the next question, meditation is controlling negative emotions. But having negative, for example, hatred and jealousy, emotion tell us something. Like an injury cut on the leg leads to pain, the pain tells us the cut on my leg, therefore we adjust leg by stitches up on and apply a bandage onto it. Jealousy makes us feel uneasy, displeasure. We respond with recognizing, and our wise mind adopts unreasonable thinking. I think what you mean is, if you have a negative, if you have an emotion like jealousy, hatred, anger, if you realize it, it's not that bad. You're right. So that's the reason why we said ignorance is bodhi, or emotional afflictions, mental affliction leads you to enlightenment. But you have to realize it. As long as you realize the jealousy is not right, as long as you realize that if you realize the pain, then you can patch it up. But if you don't realize it, blood will just flow from it and you'll be dead. You continue the blood flowing up from your injured part. So it's negative feeling, emotions may turn out to be positive if you do something about it. However, if you perpetuate in your emotions jealousy and hatred, it would hurt you, it would harm you. So you can't say that it's good to hurt myself, because hurting myself, then I know how to apply bandage on. Why don't you prevent hurting yourself first? I want to bump my head into a column so that I can go to the doctor. So then I realize that I can go to the doctor. It's negative enough. But you don't do that deliberately. So that means don't blame on the negative emotion itself. If it comes out, don't blame onto it, but try to improve on it. Try to eliminate it, but don't blame it itself. It's your mind that attached to the emotions, not the emotion itself. I have a mantra that I would like to show you. I have never tried teaching it like that. I learned it from while I was in Hong Kong. I tried to, a lot of people who show up to attend to my lectures, they want to learn a mantra, and they suggested that maybe I should teach right at the lecture, after each lecture. So I started that, and I find it to be very effective. So maybe what you do is we'll learn this mantra. Why do we have to learn this mantra? We'll explain later. This mantra has been very effective for people who like to request help from bodhisattvas. So we just mentioned that if you almost want to give up, why don't you just put all your time and energy into requesting for help from Chandi mantra. So in every chanting of mantra, we can do mantra. Mantra is gesticulation of the hand. Because chanting a mantra, you need three sources in union, in harmony. The body, the speech, and the mind. The body, gesticulation of the hand symbolizes the body. Because at that time when you're chanting your body is not moving. But if you do a mutra, that symbolizes you're purifying your body. And then of course you are chanting, you're using your speech, your mantra to chant, and then your mind is in peace, at peace, with focus on the chanting. So the body, the mind, the mouth, and the mind are all in harmony. So that's what we're doing. So what you do is put your fingers like that and just close it up like that, just touching it like that. Now you put both hands, put it together, and then fold it back, and this too, just touching it. This gesticulation is for this mantra. If you want just to put the palm like this, it is okay too. So this is the mantra gesticulations. Okay, you follow after me, the Chandi mantra. Nama. Saptanam Samyak Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chandi Swaha Nama Saptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chandi Swaha. I do it as a whole sentence, and you follow after I finish one whole sentence. Namasaptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. You're better than the people in Hong Kong. You know why? Because you understand every English alphabet. People in Hong Kong, some of them may not understand English alphabets. Okay, let's do it again. You follow after me. Namasaptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Namasaptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Namasaptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Let us do it together, and I would like everybody to voice it out so that the energy can vibrate, not just whispering. You just voice it out. The meaning of it, I'll tell you the next time, but when you chant a mantra, you have to concentrate, focus on the mantra, and voice it out. We start now. Nama Saptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Nama Saptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Nama Saptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Nama Saptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Nama Saptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Nama Saptanam Samya Sambuddha Kotinam Tadyatta Om Chale Chule Chanti Swaha. Stop, and you can put your hands down. The paragraph on the page, last paragraph, explains a quotation from the sutra saying that for all those who have committed serious offenses or serious errors, for example, killing, sexual misconduct, drinking, lots of lying and all that, and for those who cannot be a vegetarian, who still have to eat meat, and for those who are married, if you chant this, it would be very effective too. So in other words, that makes us think that if you chant other mantras, it does not say that it is always effective if you are vegetarian. I mean, if you didn't commit killing, if you didn't commit sexual misconduct, all that, if you're pure, it's good to chant other mantras. But in this, it specifically say that if you cannot stay away from meat, you still have to, you stay in the family, and chanting this mantra would be extremely effective. Now, I would like to leave that to you to Google out the meaning of the Chanti mantra, or why we chant it, the benefits of chanting it. This Buddha was responsible for enlightening millions of Buddhas in the past. So this is a very effective mantra. I think if you get into Google and find out the benefits of chanting this Chandi mantra, you get a lot of information from it. And you may even get a picture of Chandi Bodhisattva. You can visualize that image while you're chanting. Your gesticulation, your hand gesticulation, plus the visualization, plus your mantra, that means the three sources will be purified.